how can you also maximize your life purpose through your business? And again, this one took me a lot of time to figure out because I started my entrepreneurial journey in college. It kind of started in high school, but it really started in college. And the way it started in college for me was I started an event planning company, which is kind of a glorified way of saying I was a college party promoter. When I started college, I wasn't too into partying, but I got to know a lot of the clubs and venues and bars and restaurants on campus, and I started hosting college parties at these clubs, venues, bars, and that started to grow, where now I was in contract with some of the biggest clubs on campus to host the weekly college parties. I was hosting some concerts and other shows, which was cool. I was making good money, especially as a kid in college. But the problem was I hated the industry. The entertainment industry, number one, is very shady. It can be very dirty. You're working with club owners, which can do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Like I remember one time, I think I was a third year in college, and I go to the club to talk to one of the club owners or managers about an event that we had coming up. And the guy that was there says, oh, the person you want to talk to is not here. He got stabbed last night at the club. So it was a very dirty industry. And on top of that, I don't drink. And I didn't like this idea of promoting alcohol usage when I'm the one that doesn't drink. So it didn't sit well with me morally. It was a way for me to make money. I didn't know much better at the time. And so when I was getting towards the end of my college career, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I just stopped the business. Even though I was making money, I just stopped it because I was just fed up with the whole industry, with the whole business that I was running. It wasn't right for me. And as I got older, now it makes sense. I just didn't like that industry. And so when you're running your business, it's going to take a lot of time out of you. It's going to take a big piece of your life. It's going to take a big piece of your mind, your heart, everything. Building a business is hard. And if you really want to be devoted to the business, which you want to be, why wouldn't you want to be devoted to your business? It has to be something that you actually care about. It has to be something that allows you to live your life's purpose. And this took me a lot of trial and error to figure out what that meant because I'm not a coder, I'm not a tech person, I didn't know what that meant. But I was always, once I started learning about money, I was very interested in financial education. This was something that was brand new to me and it quickly became very passionate about it. I read one book about money. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and my whole life changed. And I started just binging books about money and financial education, which was kind of funny to me because up until I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I never had read a book cover to cover. English is my second language. I struggled really hard in my English classes. I would actively avoid reading books. I would actively struggle in my English classes. But then when I started reading these books about money and financial education, it made sense to me. And it was a very different kind of education that I was learning here as opposed to the math and science education that I was learning in school because my parents told me that I needed to become a doctor. So I was kind of focusing on that when they found out that I wasn't going to be a doctor. My dad told me, I'll just tell you the story. My dad told me that I had to at least become an attorney to leave some pride in the family. So that's why I went to law school. But I didn't want to necessarily be an attorney. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, which kind of gave me that fire to want to do something outside of what I was doing in the classroom in law school. But this is where now understanding you want to build something that you can actually be proud of, that you can actually be passionate about, and that will keep you going because money can only motivate you for so long. Money is definitely a big motivator in the early stages, right? When you don't have a lot of money, thinking about making $100,000 a year, $10,000 a month is unbelievable. Thinking about making $50,000 a month is crazy. Thinking about making $100,000 a month is unfathomable. But if you stick with what you're doing, if you keep learning, if you keep building, if you keep hustling, eventually you're going to start to see things pick up and grow and you're going to start to see your business scale, especially if you stay disciplined. And then as you scale, you're going to start to see more money coming in. And then as you start to see more money coming in, that's where you start to realize, is this something that I want to do? Am I actually enjoying this? And at that point, either you're going to find out, I love what I'm doing. I'm so happy I picked this, or you're going to feel a little bit miserable because you're doing something that doesn't align with your morals, with your values, with something you enjoy doing, something you really want to do, but something you want to be proud of for your kids and your grandkids. So it's a lot easier if you're building a business, start thinking about this early on, which is what you're doing going to help you align with a life purpose? And you don't have to know what your life purpose is today. Like, your purpose is going to change. It's funny when I hear people talk about find your purpose. Your purpose is going to change, but you have to at least have something that you really care about, something that really means something to you, something that really you can be proud about. And you can tell your parents and your kids and your grandkids, and you'll be happy telling them about, because you're making a difference. So I want you to think about that as you're building your business, because that's going to allow you to have that fuel and drive to build something that actually changes the world. Because if you just want the money, well, once you start getting the money, it's not going to be that attractive anymore. And you're not going to have the same drive to build a business. But if you care about changing the world, if you care about providing some value, well, that can drive you way further. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.